Hey guys, KingXF here and welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be checking out the OwLab Mr. Suit keyboard. Let's get right into it. Oh yeah, like my suit? Now, a message from our sponsor, PCBWay. With PCBWay, you can design your very own one-off keyboard or just PCBs in general. The customization is truly endless. They also offer other services such as CNC machining, 3D printing, injection molding, all that good stuff. You even get an instant PCB quote in the event that you decide to design one. For more information, click on the first link below. And now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. The Mr. Suit is a TKL gasket mounted keyboard with an 8-degree typing angle and 2.2 kg unbuilt weight. Following the successful releases of the Voice 65 and infamous Jelly Epoch, Mr. Suit is OwLab's third installment in their lineup of in-stock, ready-to-ship bespoke custom keyboards. But, unlike the previous two boards which only had one round, Mr. Suit will have 3. This time around, OwLab gives you the option to choose between either a win key or win keyless bottom row. Color choices for round 1 included blue, red, green, and silver. These colors didn't return in the second round, and instead it was just black or white with different color weights and some with chamfers. The unit I have here is the win key red one, which is what I would have said had they not pulled an oopsie and mixed up everyone's orders. Yeah, those who ordered win key got win keyless instead and vice versa. More on this later in the video. So, in the end, I actually got a win keyless red unit. Unboxing it, the packaging is quite fancy. The lip on the box is magnetic and opens up to show the plate and PCB. You get a choice of a hot swap or solder PCB, of which I chose the former. Included in the bag comes a sheet of PE foam as well as pour-on plate foam. Also in the PCB's bag are some standoffs, which OwLab says are optional, so I'm not going to use them because they reduce flex. As for plate options, you can choose polycarbonate, POM, FR4, or aluminum. I chose to get PC because I want as much flex as possible. In the next layer you find a plastic bag with the stabilizers unassembled, some screws, stabilizer pads, and a small box with an aluminum artisan keycap inside that can come in either silver, gold, or rainbow, at least for R1. It turns out I got a silver one, which I'm happy with as it'll suit my build the best. Pun intended. Now, the thing about these stabilizers is that they've been specially designed to mitigate rattle and ticking, so I'll talk more about these later on in the video. Finally, you get the board itself wrapped in a microfiber cloth. Opening the cloth, there's another small plastic bag that has all the gasket socks for the plate and rubber feet for the case. Then you'll find the case foam laid inside of the board. Taking the Mr. Suit out of the box, there's a large and small weight. Both have a layer of protective film to prevent fingerprints from getting onto these beautiful weights. It's also recommended to not remove the internal film because the PCB will come into contact with the weight due to how flexy it is, causing the board to short. The large aluminum weight has a black mirror PVD finish and the small stainless steel one has a gray mirror PVD finish. On the external side of the small weight you can find a signature, and on the internal side there's a laser engraved logo. Depending on what color board you got, the weights also vary in color. If you got a red or green unit, you get a gray small weight and black large weight. If you got a blue or silver unit, you get a gold small weight and silver large weight. For round 2, there were many more variations, but I'm not going to bother listing them as I only joined in on the first round. There's an aluminum mid piece that sits between the top and bottom cases, and a daughter board and JST cable are installed inside the bottom case as well. Once again, the board is gasket mounted. These tabs on the plate are where the gasket socks I mentioned earlier go. Most of the time, gasket-mounted keyboards have adhesive strips that are stuck onto these tabs, but these socks are a lot more convenient. The PCB is really quite unlike anything I've seen before. There are individual flex cuts all over it. It comes in its hung and bottom row and F13 layout. You must cut off the 2 strips that connect the spacebar foam with the plate foam. An online acquaintance of mine said to put that piece below the spacebar under the PCB to reduce spacebar hollowness. Otherwise, I will only use the PE and plate foams, not the case foam. As for keycaps and switches I'll be using, I have here GMK white on black and KGT grapefruits to complete the build and match the gorgeous red of the board. I initially chose to use lychee tactile switches, but after building I didn't like the way they sounded or felt, so I replaced them. Just want to clear that up since the rest of the footage shows the lychees instead of the grapefruits. I was going to use Milky Way PBT02 keycaps for this board, but that's taking a while to arrive, so WOB is a temporary set until 02 is here. Now the stabilizers are what OwLab calls liquid metal stabs or OwlStabs. Basically, the wires will retain their shape no matter how much they're bent, and the stabilizer housings have extremely tight tolerances, which actually plays a bigger role than the wires. So, what does that mean? It means that you won't have to balance the wires to make them straight, and you won't need to perform any stab mods like the Holy or FC mods. However, through my usage of the OwlStabs, they're quite hit or miss. More on this later. I will be lubing the housings with 205 grade 0 and XHT BDZ for the wires. To tie everything together, I'll be using a Darling themed custom cable that I got from RN Cables. I kinda wish I got in clear tech flex instead of white to show off the pink more, but nonetheless it still looks great. And now, let's get building. So while we're building, let's go ahead and talk about pricing and how the sale worked. In order to have gotten a Mr. Suit, you first had to cop a W on the first come first serve drop for just the case itself. If you made a past payment, you were then given 24 hours to buy the PCB and plate. The case cost a base price of $315 regardless of what color or layout. The PCBs are $55 for hot swap and $45 for solder, and the plates were $20 regardless of material. Shipping prices were quite high, $50 just to ship the case to North America. The total cost would have been $380, $390 without shipping, and $430, $440 with, but shipping fees up to $50 were refunded as well because of, you guessed it, OwLab's low screw up. Again, they mixed up WinKey and WinKeyless orders, so instead of issuing full refunds, they set up a couple channels in their Discord server for users to trade units. I guess that makes sense since the boards had already been shipped and they couldn't just halt shipping. But had they paid a little bit more attention, this mix-up would not have happened. In the end, I paid $390 entirely for the board, which I'm not complaining about, but a mix-up like this is unacceptable. And if you thought that was the end of the screw-ups, recently around 2, there's another major one. But that's too much to cover today, so stay tuned for when I make another video regarding OwLab sales and veils. Now that we're done building, let's roll the sound test. So as you heard, my build came out to be quite clacky sounding. I was expecting the PE foam to make it sound a bit more poppy, but even then I'm still satisfied with the end result. The typing experience is pretty soft, offering lots of flex. It's definitely one of the softest I've personally felt, thanks to the gasket mount design with those socks you slide onto the plate. The design is nice and clean, and in my opinion much better looking than the controversial Jelly Epoch. It's nice and simple and nothing aggressive looking, which is my preferred aesthetic. The side profile is rather interesting, mainly to accommodate for that gorgeous back weight, and even though you can't see it much, the internal weight also looks stunning. The 8-degree typing angle took a bit of getting used to, but I was able to quickly adapt to it. The included metal artisan keycap is a spectacular added bonus, and it really helps achieve that classy look OwLab is going for. There is one caveat however, the OwlStabs. Due to how the wires will always maintain their shape, if your wires aren't balanced out of the box, then you're pretty much out of luck, which happens to be my case. I have slathered these wires with XHT BDZ, but nothing is making the ticking go away, and it really bugs me. So my conclusion with OwlStabs is that they're quite hit or miss, and not the solution to reducing rattle and ticking. In the end, I'm quite happy with most things the OwLab Mr. Suit has to offer. Whether it's the sound, aesthetic, features, and so on, I really enjoy using this keyboard. So should you buy it? That choice is up to you. OwLab doesn't exactly have the cleanest track record regarding logistics, but they still put out high quality products. The decision is yours to make on whether or not you want to support their company. Anyway, that'll be it for my review of the OwLab Mr. Suit. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like to show your support, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you won't miss out on any of my future uploads. I'm KingXF, and I'll see y'all next time.